Well, school vaccine exemptions have been a hot topic in West Virginia, and one lawmaker is giving suggestions on what the state's Department of Education should enforce when it comes to keeping students safe.
Our Bailey Tucker, she joins us live with the latest on this debate. And Bailey, what can you tell us?
Gina Payton, after the Department of Education chose to not adhere to Governor Patrick Morrisey's executive order allowing religious vaccine exemptions for students, one lawmaker is saying the rules need to be the same for everyone. Even Putnam County Delegate Kathy Hess-Krause recently released an op-ed following the announcement that the Department of Education would not be allowing religious vaccine exemptions for students.
I released it because the Board of Education and, of course, the lawsuit from the ACLU are both wanting to restrict students who are back in school now, and parents who have opted out of vaccination have gotten the exemptions, and they're wanting to completely ignore them.
Kanawha County Delegate Mike Pushkin says the department is making the right decision.
They did not amend our current childhood immunization laws. So the state board of education, they did the right thing. They're following the law.
But Krause disagrees. She's calling the decision, quote, an attempted power grab in defiance of constitutional authority. Pushkin says an executive order doesn't overrule West Virginia's current laws when it comes to immunization.
I think what the government overreach is the fact that the governor refuses to rescind his executive order when the legislature took action. They took action and they voted down his bill.
Krause also called out the ACLU. Several weeks ago, they decided to represent two parents in a lawsuit against the governor after they said they feared for the safety of their children because of pre-existing conditions. The ACLU released a statement to Eyewitness News saying, quote, Delegate Krause and Governor Morrisey had the opportunity to convince legislators that granting philosophical exemptions for West Virginia's school vaccine requirements was a good idea. Having failed to do so, they now want to rule by decree. The Constitution is clear. The government doesn't get to simply ignore laws it doesn't like. Krause argues the legislative process isn't so simple.
Bills take sometimes a while to get through. We have compromises that need to be made if they are.
Krause issuing suggestions for the Department of Education going forward, including proof of vaccination for all school visitors, strict limits on school travel, and mandatory quarantine for out-of-state travel. Pushkin feels those proposals are a little much.
I think that the proposals that Delegate Krause is making are preposterous. They are overreaching. And I think that she knows that, but I also don't think she has a very good understanding of how public health works.
Krause questions how the proposals were an overreach.
Well, should they be? It's the same thing that we're asking the students to have done. It's the same requirements of the students.
According to the Center for Rural Health Development, immunization rates for West Virginia kindergartners reaches about 95 to 98% each year, and depending on the vaccine type, are the highest rates in the nation. Pushkin says the state needs to keep up the good work.
You don't see measles outbreaks in West Virginia. And I think, sometimes folks like Delegate Krause aren't going to be happy until you see polio come and measles come back. It's ridiculous.
We reached out to the Department of Education, who says they have no comment on the op-ed. Live in the studio, Bailey Tucker, Eyewitness News.